Hey everybody, we're back down here today working on the tile and have made a lot of progress this morning. I've been dry fitting the rest of the Butler's pantry and finally finished all of that. Tried to do a little bit more right by the back door where we've got a few cuts to make around the air conditioning vent. As soon as I got that done and the little piece by the stairs, I'm going to go ahead and start mixing up some thin set and start setting this stuff in place. I want to try to get all this done before I quit tonight. So let me show you where I'm at and what I'm hoping to get accomplished. All right, so this is looking into the Butler's pantry, and you can see the thin set in between the tiles here. The other evening, I made it to right about here. So this is done, this is done, this is done, this is done. But now everything beyond that is dry fitted and is ready to be thin setted in place. So I gotta get all this done. So as soon as I get finished here with all my dry fitting, I'm going to carefully start removing some of these tiles, setting them aside, mixing up thin set, and setting them in place. I get all this done by the door. I went ahead and cut all these pieces. If I'd have used the original dimension, in some of these areas there would have been a gap of about 3/4 of an inch. So I would have had to use a small spacer, you know, a small piece of tile cut and fit in there, and I just don't think it would have looked as well, worked out as well. So ended up just taking larger tiles and then cutting them down to fit exactly. And I tried to leave about a 1/8 to 1/16 of a gap there because I don't want that threshold to bump into the tile every time you slam the door shut. In case it moves a little bit, I want to be able to put a bead of caulk down through there, and that'll allow us to have some flexibility there, keep that tile from getting knocked loose. So I got all those cut and fit, and then over here, this is the first tile we laid. So everything beyond that is what I've been working on, getting dry fitted. So I've got all these dry fitted in place. Everything's cut and ready to go. Over here you can see the last little bit of orange showing through. These are all cuts. These are all pieces that I got to cut and lay in there, and then you can see the HVAC vent that I got to cut around here. That'll be fun. And then right over here against the stairs. So I'm going to work until, you know, right here to the stairs, over to the wall, and then over here and finish the rest of the Butler's pantry. Try to get all that done, and then maybe tomorrow I'll go ahead and start working my way up the hallway. And then I'm going to leave the grouting, I think, for Amber. Hopefully she'll be able to come down this week early and knock out the grouting. And once the grouting's done, then we're going to be able to go ahead and set cabinets. We've got cabinets kind of waiting in the wings over here in the dining room. There's our big corner cabinet. And then all these other boxes and everything here have Butler's pantry cabinets in them. So all these need to get hung up, and we also need to get them all out of the way because we've got hardwood floors being delivered next week, and we're going to stack a lot of that stuff up in here. That 6-inch tongue and groove wide plank floor is coming in, so we're excited to have that, but we got to have a place to put it. So I got my work cut out for me. I got to try to get as much of this done today, and then tomorrow, like I said, hopefully work my way down the hallway to the bathroom, get all that dry fitted, and then go ahead and start setting that in place. So I'm going to go ahead and make a few more cuts over here next to the door and the stairway, get these pieces fit, and then we'll go ahead and mix up some thin set and get these suckers laid in place. Looking forward to it. Okay, well that took a lot longer than I was expecting. I was really hoping to be mixing some thin set earlier this afternoon and putting these tile down, but man, I tell you what, just all these little cuts really add up to a lot of time. And you know, you just mark one, go out and cut it, put the spacers in, mark the next one, go out and cut it, put the spacers in, you know, so on and so forth. And I tell you, as you work your way around the room, there's just a ton of cuts, and it took a long time to put it all together. But I've got it together, so it's very exciting. Now I'm finally ready to mix up a bucket of thin set. It's about 7:15. So I think I've got time maybe to do at least, I don't know, half the room tonight before I get too tired. I don't know, it depends on how quickly it goes down. Seeing that I don't have to stop and make any more cuts, I mean, really, in theory, should make it go faster. But you know how that goes. It always takes longer than you think it should. So let's take a look at the final pattern, the final layout with all the tiles dry fitted in place. All right, here we go. So I got all the pieces in around the vent over here. That took a while. And then around the back door and over around the stairs. There were multiple little pieces there that had to be cut. Not as simple as just, slapping some tile together. This pattern does not lend itself to going together too quickly. You got to make a lot of little adjustments and a lot of little cuts. But yeah, thankfully, got everything done. I can put the saw away for the evening. That makes me happy. Tired of dealing with that mess. But it did a nice job. It's really the only way you can do slate. It'd be nice to be able to use one of those, score and crack machines like you can use on ceramic tile. But unfortunately, by the nature of slate, it's got the layers all compacted together. So if you were to try to do that, it would just break into bits. So that stinks. But what, the wet saw did a good job. I've had that thing for years. I bought it, oh gosh, it's been probably 12, 13 years ago. And used it a couple times at our house in Virginia when we were redoing some things there. But it's been in storage ever since then. But still works like a champ. It wasn't that expensive to begin with, but it's done a real nice job with this slate. I'll probably wear it out on this project. So I'm going to head out to the garage and grab some Schluter all set and get a bucket of it mixed up. I'm going to go ahead and move some of these tiles out of the way, just kind of set them off to the side, and then take my shop vac and make sure I get any sort of dirt or debris or anything that's fallen down into that honeycomb. We don't want anything in there that can interrupt the bond between the ditra and the thin set. So I want to make sure that any dust or dirt or anything that's gotten down in there over the course of the last few days gets vacuumed out first. So I'm going to pull a few tile, get that out of the way, do a little vacuuming, go mix some thin set, start laying some down, and I'll circle back with you guys here in just a little bit. All right, here we go again. I got the far right side put down with thin set last night, and I'm getting ready to lay out some tile in the open space there. Gonna mix another bucket of thin set and get cracking on that. Tight space down in the end of the room there. Not a whole lot of room to put tile. The problem with dry fitting everything is that you know that everything works, and you know that the size of the tile is going to go perfectly, good grout lines and all that stuff. But then you got to keep track of everything. You can't just take them all out and lay them somewhere. You got to keep them in order so that you know that when they go back down, they're going to fit back in the same spot. So a little bit of little space issues down there, but we'll get through it. So I'm going to get cracking here and get some of this. I shouldn't say get cracking, should I? Last thing I want to do is get cracking at this point. All right, I'm going to get busy. I'm going to get some thin set mixed up and get it spread out here. And we'll see what we can get accomplished today. I'm going to try to get all of this end done, and then right here in front of the door, and then move over here to the other end next to the back door in the staircase. So hopefully by the end of the day, I'll have this entire space done, and I'll be ready to start dry fitting going down the hallway toward the bathroom. All right, after several big buckets of thin set, I finally have the entire Butler's pantry done. The last little section I had to do right in front of the garage door. It was a little tricky, and one reason is that the tile right in front of the garage door had to be a little bit thicker on one end than the other, just 1/8 of an inch to give it a real nice fit against the door threshold. Well, guess what? I flipped it around after I back buttered it and put it in the wrong way. And I'm like, why is this thing so tight? Can't get the spacer in there. It's not fitting right. And I'm like, oh no. Figured out what I did and had to pry that bad boy up. It was not fun. Good news is, excellent contact with the thin set underneath. The entire thing was embedded nicely. So I know that this tile is not going anywhere anytime soon. That Schluter all set works fantastic. And using the notch trowel that I have and the back buttering technique is getting really good contact. So this stuff is going to be down for keeps. So that's one good thing. But anyway, so I got that one up, flipped it around, fit like a champ, and then put the last two pieces in, and I'm done for now. I'm going to run up the house and get something to eat, and probably come back down later on if I'm feeling energetic enough If not, then I'll be back down tomorrow evening to try to knock out the rest of the rear entryway. So let me show you what we got accomplished this weekend. It feels like I finished the whole house. I mean, this was a slog getting all this done, but yeah, not quite. It's a lot more work than I had anticipated, or Amber had anticipated. A lot more fit and finish work was required to get this stuff down. So I'll quit complaining about it and show you what I got done. All right, so here we are. We started right here. This section, where you don't see the leveling clips, was done the night before last. And so I did all the way over here to this corner, and then all the way over here to this corner, and then all the way over here in front of the garage door. And using the leveling clips and using my tile puck, using my spacers, has really worked well. It's really got a real good look to it. It's consistent. The grout lines look good. There's a few that are a little thicker, a little thinner, but you're going to have that with any sort of natural stone. So I'm trying not to be too anal about it, but I think overall it looks really good. It's level and it's solid. I mean, this stuff is down really well with this Schluter thin set. Real happy with that stuff. Finally figured out the right consistency. I was mixing it a little bit too stiff initially and was trying to figure out why my bucket wasn't lasting as long as it should have and why it was hard to spread towards the end, and I think it just wasn't getting enough water in there. So finally, after a few buckets, figured out just the right combination, the right consistency, and it's made it a lot easier to get it spread and to be able to use the entire bucket without it getting too stiff. So here's what I have left. This back entry area. Here's the back door going to the patio. So I've got to get this section right here under the shop vac, over the stairs, and then right here. So not bad. May come back and knock it out tonight. I don't know. I was down here to almost 11 o'clock last night, and then we are trying to sell our other house so we can get moved in down here. And I had to go up and do a few things up there last night. I had to touch up the paint in a few places. So it was, it was after 1 o'clock by the time I finished up everything and cleaned my paintbrushes using oil-based paint, and then finally put my feet up to relax for a few minutes. It was probably 2 o'clock by the time I actually fell asleep. So late night last night, long weekend. So I think maybe I'll just go get some dinner and then put my feet up and come back down here tomorrow evening after work. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for hanging out with me this weekend while I work on this tile project. It's been fun to see all the progress. Very exciting to see it coming together finally. So thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit that subscription button so you don't miss a single episode of Woodmere State Revival. Lots more to come. Next episode will cover the rest of the floor here in the hallway and down into the bathroom. And then after that, we got to set cabinets in the Butler's Pantry and set the bathroom fixtures. And then we got to go upstairs and do a bunch of tile up there. So lots more episodes to come. Hit that subscription button so you don't miss the upcoming episodes. Give us a like if you would, please. We appreciate that. If you got any comments or questions, leave those down below. And as always, share the channel with your friends and family. We got a bunch of loyal subscribers, and we appreciate you guys a lot. But keep spreading the word. Lots more to come with this project, and we're excited to show it all to you. See you again real soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.